Perfect, lovely. So everyone is hearing me loud and clear. Fantastic. So oh, I see our guest has arrived. Perfect timing. But just a little bit before I let her in, I just want to give you guys a quick heads up on who we're talking to today. Today wasn't actually supposed to be a guest. It was just supposed to be, a one-on-one like we used to do. But we had a truly, truly amazing breakthrough over the past few weeks. And so we were eager to share this with you. So today we're going to be talking to Erika from an organization called Youth at Work. So they are a really large organization that specializes in placing youth, particularly young South Africans who have skills into working roles, into internships, whether it's be paid, whether it be a free internship, just to get them experience and get them help them get a foot in the door in the workspace and launch their careers from there. So we decided to call Erika in, and we have a little agreement with them now where hopefully going forward, they're going to be helping us place you guys into working positions. Let me just let her in. Morning, Erika. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, thank you. All good. Can hear you.
Perfect, lovely. So yeah, I was just giving our students a quick breakdown on the agreement we have, but I think now that you're here, let's let's start off with some introductions rather. I'm sure everyone here is very eager to know who this Erika is.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Yes, thank you for having me online. Sorry, it's a little bit late. My name is Erika. I'm a teacher by profession. I worked in training for many years, and 5 years ago, I started a company with a friend of mine, and we called it Youth at Work. Where do young people like to be, want to earn money so that they can be economically active through some working activities? We joined as a YES implementation partner, which means we get funding from funders for a salary for young people for 12 months, and then we provide them with workplace opportunities. And there we try and match the youth with work that they like doing, that they're qualified in doing, that they can really do super well in, because the intention is really to have 12-month work experience that you can remain economically active and employed beyond the program. So we run a work experience program, the 12-month work experience program, and we transition people hopefully into continued employability beyond that. We have put over 7,000 people through the program in all sorts of sectors, whether it be the green economy, tourism, hospitality, education, into schools, and also into the ICT sector. And so that's what we do. But our partnership is slightly different, and I'm sure you'll get more information on that. It's where we've built a different package to pathway you into employment, and that's what we're going to speak about.
Yeah, so just before you jumped in, I was just giving them a quick brief on it, but just to recap on that, basically what IT Varsity and Youth at Work are trying to do is work out a way where our students who have graduated or who are close to graduating, we want to find a way how we can take them and put them into a working role, even if it's just for a few months. It doesn't necessarily have to be a full 1 year contract, but just something to get you placed into a company so you can work. You get the experience from there, you get referrals from there, and potentially even find permanent employment or a fixed term contract with that company, where they absorb you into their team. And so that's something that we're really, really excited about. We started this conversation with Youth at Work, a few weeks ago. And last week, Friday, they came down to our offices. We had a lovely conversation, and we're really excited that this is moving forward. Um, so Erika, just to help our students prepare for what's to come, right? Uh, well, obviously there is some training that we do with them. There's a lot of training we do with them. That is our specialization. But we always hear, even from other guests, that when it comes to being placed into a company, when it comes to working, uh, there's a lot more that goes into it. So what can our students do just to help them prepare for that and uh, yeah, help them make the most of this opportunity when they reach that point.
Yeah, thank you. So we are going to, that's twofold. One, we are working with companies. We're starting to put the word out there that we've got well-trained youth who want some work experience. We have offered three categories. One is for you to be able to work in an organization for 2 or 3 months as an intern, just to get a feel for what are the type of projects that they run, what are they expecting of you, what is the working environment like. Are you going to work from home? Are you going to work in an office? Do you need to be in from 8 to 5? What are the parameters around that? In that first 3 months, are they going to pay you like just 1,000 Rand a month or a little bit more, maybe just to cover your transport costs? But it's really for you to say, I would like to come in to gain experience, because they also have to put a lot of time into training you, into showing you things, into allowing you access into their systems. So there's quite a lot of trust that needs to go in from their side in order to bring you into their business. This first initial period is so that it really is a probation period. It's for you to see this is really not what I wanted or what I expected,
Mhm.
or wow, this is super exciting and I'm really, really going to work really hard because I'd love to stay here longer. It's also for the employer to see your drive, your energy, your enthusiasm, your participation, and your skill level. So they might see that you're really passionate, you're enthusiastic, but you haven't had much experience, you haven't had much exposure, and so they're willing to ride with that. So after those 2, 3 months, so it's for you to get a step in the door. After that, the first 2, 3 months, it's then to say, okay, what's the next step? Yes, it's a fantastic fit. You love being there. They love having you there. Let's rather formalize this and make it into a longer contract. Whether that be a project fund or a fixed term contract or permanent or an internship, there's a whole lot of options into contractual agreements beyond that first initial probation period or internship. And then we can formalize that, and the company's then serious. Sometimes they might say, look, I'll give two people a chance, but I know that I've only got one job afterwards. So
Mhm.
both of, two people will come in, and then it's a competition. Then it's really to see who engages, what is the work, and the company will choose one of them. And sometimes it's not that you don't get chosen because you were worse. Sometimes it's just because the other person lives close by, or
Mhm.
it's a personality thing, or whatever. And then we'll help you to navigate the space thereafter to say, okay, what was that working experience like? What have you learned? How have you grown? What skills have you developed? And let's move you on to another company. Okay, and then you get placed again. So we don't give up on you, but we support you and see where you go the next time around. If you really haven't performed a number of times, then we have a conversation. But generally
Mhm.
speaking, we trust that within 1 or 2 internships, you should be able to land yourself into a position where you can grow and develop. So our job is to find employers who are willing to spend time with you, help you develop, know exactly that you're not coming with a lot of experience, but that you have got a good skill level. Your job is prepare your CV well. You will be asked to do a short video clip. I mean, you've all done web design and video preparation or whatever. We'll give you some guiding questions. You prepare a 1 minute clip to say, hi, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is why I want to work within your organization. So we prepare, you will send us a CV, you will send us a video recording, and you will also um, do a screening test. So there is a kind of a diagnostic assessment which we'd like you to participate in. It's not academically based. It's really just looking at your resilience levels, your ability to learn, your mindset, whether you've got that growth mindset, and what your strengths are. And that's a completely unbiased opinion. And so, as the employer, they will get three things from you, from us. We will collect that from you. We will then hand that over to the potential employer. And the potential employer will then say, okay, this is how I want to work. You will also know, and you will put in your CV, prefer remote work, would like to work in a business, um, and the employer will also say, okay, look, I've got premises or I don't have premises, or this is what I can offer. And we try and match that together. So the preparation that you do are those three things. It's more your willingness to participate, more your attitude of going in,
Mhm.
and your ability to learn, and then to share with us what's working and what's not working. So part of our commitment is, once you've had that first interview or you've been there for 2 weeks, we phone you and follow up and say, how's it going? And you're like,
Mm.
I don't know. These are things that I never thought about. And then we're there with you. So that's the kind of support that goes through that.
Mhm. Lovely. And why I'm so excited about this is because it's here at IT Varsity and IT Varsity students, you'll be familiar with this. It's something we talk about constantly. It's the what we call the vicious work experience cycle. It's something that I think almost every graduate from a university or college goes through, where to get a job, you need experience, but to get experience, you need a job. So you can't get the job because no experience, you can't get experience because there is no, you can't get a job. And so, this whole agreement that we're working on is just aimed at breaking that cycle. Uh, if it's a very small term thing, sometimes it just could be 2 or 3 months, but the point of it is that you get that experience, you get to see what it's like in the workspace or in the company that you're placed with, and you have that reference now, and hopefully you make the most of that your time there. You build up your network, your contacts, and that is what's going to help you to land a more long-term or even a full-time position. I mean, Erika, this about a month or two ago, we were talking with a good friend of ours, and he told us that his son had recently graduated from an IT college, but he couldn't get a job. Very, very familiar scenario. So what he went and did was he approached companies and he says that, look, I'm trying to get my son placed. You don't have to worry about his salary. For like the next 6 months, I will pay his salary, but I just need him to be placed somewhere so he can get that experience. And so, he found a company that agreed to those terms. And after that 6 months, he ended up getting a full-time position in that company because he proved his worth there. So that's something that we're trying to replicate with this. So when students get placed into a company, right, there's obviously the opportunity for them to be absorbed into that company and get either an extension on their contract or a full-time contract. As someone who has worked in this space, what can you advise them on that? So let's just say a student gets a position, they're in an internship for 3 months. What can they do to impress during that time? I mean, obviously, there's no way to ever guarantee it, but to increase their chances of getting an extension or an absorption.
Yeah, I mean the first thing is to really uh, uh, to really be open. If they explain something to you and it's not clear, to ask. I think that some people just feel, they don't want to be impolite, they don't want to ask too many questions, they want to look like they don't know anything. But if you don't know and you're not clear, you often end up making mistakes and then you get on the wrong side of the stick straight away.
Hmm.
So, first rules, it's basic things like, what must I dress? Not that you come all dressed up and everybody else is in jeans, or the other way around, you're working into a business, you walk in jeans and tackies and they all in work attire. So you really need to clarify and ask all those kind of questions like, what is the standard dress code over here? What are the breaks? When are the breaks? How does it work? Do people bring their own lunch? Do they get lunch? Do they buy downstairs? What is the transport like around me? Are there any things that that we can participate in? Employee benefits, things like Friday afternoon. Sometimes there's a little bit of a get together. Um, those really basics of not doing the wrong thing because you don't know, so you need to ask, and very often they don't tell you the number of hours that you're going to work. How do you log your hours of work? And then for them to say, be able to say to you, for you to ask, am I working in the right time frame? Sometimes they think this is a job for an hour, but it takes you 4 hours. And you want to know that. You want them to say to you, look, that was really well done or well tried. However, we're really expecting you to do that in a quarter of the time. So I know you're not used to it, but can you work towards that?
Mhm.
So you want to build that open relationship. You want to also know who is your main contact person. Because generally you get introduced to a number of people and you then want to say, okay, look, if I've got questions, who's the one person that I report to? Who's the one person that I can build that rapport to and I can grow? Really ask about your work. What was the quality of my work like? What could I improve next time? How could I have done it differently? What are you expecting of me? When the expectations are not clear, that's when we generally land up in a muddle. If it's clear, I want this from you in this format by tomorrow morning, then you know. Then you just clarify, is this exactly what are you expecting? And then if you've delivered that tomorrow morning, then you're already ahead of the game. Okay, so
Mhm.
ask lots of questions. Rule number one. Number two, listen and go in there with a notebook. Go and take notes. Take notes of what the people's names were, what are the details that they told you, just so that you can go over at night and you go, oh, okay, let me not. Because knowing people's names, knowing where you're going, knowing the organization, that immediately brings, wow, they really switched on. Sure, they want to be part of this team. Okay. Um, Other little practical tips are listen in and then when asked, participate, or, can I ask a clarifying question? So get engaged. Get engaged. What we sometimes find is youth are not engaged enough because they think it's not polite or they're not ready to engage. But being confident, being open, being approachable, those are general skills which we really look for. And then it
Mhm.
goes into the detail of your work. And to be honest, look, this is something that I've never done before. It really is unfamiliar to me. I can go and research it. I can ask a colleague, or could you really show me how to do it that I know exactly what I want, what you expect of me? Those are kind of basics in the working environment.
Lovely. So, I like how you're not really expected to know everything, but you are expected to ask and
Exactly.
to make an effort to learn, and that's really what goes a long way.
Mm.
Guys, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat and we'll go through. I see a few have come through already. So Azra, you ask, how can we apply? Where about in SA would we be
Mm.
placed, all around or in a specific place? So yeah, to apply for this program, I mean, firstly, you have to be an IT varsity student going through our course. Once you complete your course, with us, then the next step for us is going to be to put you into this program. So, there's the requirements that Erika mentioned, like your CV, the little test you got to do. We'll send those to you, and then we'll help you to eventually get into a position. It doesn't have to be in a specific area. um, Erika works with companies all across South Africa. So we can get you into any one of those. And there are some companies that, want remote workers, some that want in-place workers. So it's going to vary from company to company. And we'll try to pair you up with a company that's looking for someone, or where both of you are looking for roughly the same thing.
Mm.
And what do we
And
need
I
if,
think
yeah.
sometimes the remote work, in your sector, it is common. In
Mhm.
some other sectors, it's not common. I really have to caution you on that, is that to become part of a team, to become part of a working team, it's more and more obvious that the remote teams sometimes lack
Mm,
the real engagement to understand the problems that they're trying to solve and work as a team. So it generally now is accepted that you do come to a central space, even if it is once a week and everybody
mm,
goes and works alone and then comes back again. Um, it does help. So we will look at where you live, and look at if there are companies close to where you live so that you can engage with that, not that that becomes a barrier to you becoming part of the team.
mhm.
So that's just something that I just wanted to add in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. I mean, we at IT Varsity, up until I think just under a year ago, we were a completely remote team. But remote work is hard. It sounds appealing. You can sit in your pajamas, just wake up, just hop on your computer and you're at work. But after a while, you notice it. One is you feel disconnected from the
Mm,
rest of the team. You're not quite sure what's going on sometimes. Number two is just, I don't know how to explain it, but being in an office, in a working environment, it boosts your productivity levels. And sometimes working at home, there's distractions here and there. It's very difficult to get into that that focus zone. And so yeah, about last year June we decided to rent out this office space just for our Durban-based team to actually have a place. And honestly, we noticed a boost in productivity, not just with staff, but with us ourselves. So
mm.
yeah, it's nice to have it as an option, but there's definite value in working as in a team on site, especially if you're an internship, because remember, you're there to just learn and absorb as much as you can.
Yeah, I think what becomes important as well are all your normal habits that you have. For example, getting up in the morning and really journaling, setting some intentions, being clear on, what is it today that I really want to focus on. Get yourself a checklist that you don't forget things. So I think a lot of young people are not used to doing that. They
Hmm.
think, oh, I'll remember and I'll be okay. And then, oh, sorry, I forgot. So
Mm,
you're going to have to up your game on that, whether you're doing that on your laptop and you're journaling online, or whether you're doing that in a little book or a diary. But we find that note taking, journaling, intention setting, goal setting, and really task orientated checklists are things that young people are just not doing. And it means that you do miss stuff. So if you get yourself into the habit of getting up every morning and making sure that these are the things I want to achieve, and then at the end of the day, that you check in with that. And you go like, yeah, I'm feeling really good because I can tick off like three things. I didn't get to this one over there and that one I missed completely. However, I'll carry them forward for tomorrow. But I'm feeling good because these three things I did do. So
mm,
and I would urge you to practice that now already. Every day, like I want to send out my CV to three companies to try and get work. Well, then do it. Tick it off and say, yes, I've done it and I've done it well. Okay, so and in the what we're talking about here is also work-life balance. If you work from home, generally speaking, that balance is blurred. It's like you're always at
mm,
work. Someone can always phone you and get online anytime, and I'll check in tonight. But when you're at a physical place, when you get home, you also see what are my home activities. Am I going to go to gym because it keeps me alert and awake? I must make sure that I really cut down on junk food. I drink more water and I don't drink Coke all day long. I eat healthy. I sleep enough and I don't sleep with my phone on or next to me and the TV on. All those basics that we kind of talk about, but now you need to implement them because we do want to see you focused. We want to see you committed. We want to see you at work every day. Sometimes working from home, like you have a bad day and you're like, oh, let me just sleep. Okay, I'll go on at 10 o'clock. When you have to be at work at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, it doesn't work like that. So you have to show up every day and you have to show up clean, new clothes, fresh, alert, lunch packs packed, that you've got your food, that you're not wasting money on junk food, and that afterwards you knock off, you get your lift home, and you're at home. And then there is a separation between work and home. And most importantly, in the evenings before you go to bed, to really sit down and say, what am I grateful for? What have I done well? That you have a reflection time. What are things that I really need to improve on and learn on? But generally speaking, what are the positives? And building those strong behavioral traits that become rhythm, that become habits, that become good qualities that you move into a working environment. So I think I've spoken enough, and maybe just
Mhm.
a quick one from you guys. Just put it in the chat or open up your mics. Is any of that been useful? How has it resonated? Are you doing it already, or are there some tips that you've picked up on?
Yeah, guys, let us know. While we wait for that, one more question came in. Will extra case studies aid us in getting job experience, even if you have no actual experience?
Yes, yes, put it in your CVs. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, when job hunting, I don't think there's any experience or any learning that you did that's wasted. Every little bit counts, and sometimes just that little line that you might think is irrelevant might be what someone is looking for, and that could, bump you up in standings with them. So,
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
there's lots of gig work online that you could be
Mm,
doing, whether you're tutoring, whether you're
yeah.
doing online surveying for companies or whatever. So I would urge you to really hustle. The more you hustle, the more you start getting some kind of work, the easier it is to jump into other work. So all of you really, as an activity, should be looking at what part-time work, even if it's 1 or 2 hours a day,
Mhm.
can you be doing to gain experience.
Absolutely. So okay, I see one more comment came in from Rumesa. Everything sounds so exciting and inspiring so far. What advice can you give us as students to help us make the most out of the programs and opportunities that Youth at Work offers and to be successful in the job searches?
Yeah, I think I've covered that. I mean, that's the
Hmm.
same question that was there beforehand, so I hope that I've covered it.
Mm.
Rumesa, is there anything that is missing, or have I not answered that?
So
Come,
guys,
guys, you need to give me some feedback. Come, some
Mhm.
feedback in the chat. Are you going to be engaging? Okay, I mean, what we haven't discussed is how do we get the opportunities to you? At the moment, it's still going to be channeled through IT Varsity. We're going
Mhm.
to say these are opportunities we've got. Um, Either they recommend candidates or they send it out to all of you and all of you apply, and then we choose from there.
Mhm.
So there will be always a short listing and then a final interview. Every one of you is going to have a final interview with the host company. We don't make the placement based on our interview. It is based on the final interview of the employer. They make the final decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we will definitely help you prepare for that and put you in the best place possible to take advantage of that situation. But ultimately, it's gonna come down to you. And even the way the companies that we recommend you to is gonna depend on your performance. So guys, we really need you to put everything into this, because even after we place you in a company, right? That potential or that employer isn't just going to be looking at you. They're going to be looking at Youth at Work, and they're going to be looking at IT Varsity, right? So we need you to impress not just on behalf of yourself, but also to give IT Varsity and Youth at Work a good name,
Mm.
because you are our products, At IT Varsity, we say this all the time. Our products, although we are an education institute, our products are not our courses. Our products are our students and our graduates.
Mm. Thank you, Azra. Yes. Okay. So, also I really encourage you to read every day, grow your general knowledge because the employers will always ask you, what did you think about the elections? What are the parties? Have you been up to date with what's going on? So we want to see that there are youth that are out
Mhm.
there that are interested, interesting, informed. And that's also another thing that happens at work. These
Mhm.
conversations happen, and if you land up like, oh, I know nothing, so go out there and just get some general knowledge.
Great.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Hey guys, We are going a little over time, so Erica, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today, above and beyond what you agreed to work with us towards. I think it's going to be an exciting partnership between us, and I'm really looking forward to opening up these opportunities for our students.
Super. Us too. Look forward to meeting you, look forward to helping you along, and look forward to all the great successes that are going to come out of that. So, yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for the opportunity. Lovely to be here with you.
Cool. Thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, we'll see you again next week. Bye, everyone.
Super. Okay, thanks. Bye.